Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. I want to thank you so much for taking the busy time out of your lives, out of your day to listen to my words, to watch my video. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the thumbs up, share this video with someone you think would benefit from it. Leave me a comment. Get at me on social media at Live to Learn Coaching. My TikTok and Instagram handle, you can find those in the description of the video. Send me messages, suggestions, a pat on the back, constructive criticism, whatever it is. That's how you can get a hold of me if you need to. Also in the description of the video, 3 opportunities to donate or to provide financial support to my channel and what I'm doing here as a content creator. It's not something that you have to do, but I want to thank those of you who have taken your support there, putting your own money into the belief that what I'm doing here is important, is something that matters, really means a lot to me. So thank you so much for doing that. But those of you, if this is your first time, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I hope that you're going to be able to take something valuable away from what I'm going to share today. And today we are going to start another series. I do like doing these series. I think it's just easier to kind of unpack some things that take a little bit more time than a 10 or 12 minute video. Things that I think are very important for us to draw out as much as we can. Obviously, I don't want to keep you here forever, right? We don't have the greatest attention span these days because we're used to things being done so quickly. It is what it is. That's 2025 for you. That's just the day and age that we live in. Speaking of the day and age that we live in, we find ourselves, if you're an American, if you're a United States citizen, if you live in the United States, if you are watching the news, if you're aware, if your head is not stuck in the ground, right, like an ostrich, you know that right now is the beginning of a new presidential term. We've got new leadership in the White House, in government. This is a very volatile time for us as human beings, as Americans. Why? Because politics, like religion, tends to have people on different sides of the aisle, right? And what I'm seeing and what you're probably seeing on social media, these fiery exchanges, these back and forth arguments, and it stems from political views and religious views. Now, back in the days, you heard that etiquette, right? And it was something that I heard that was common, which is, hey, when you're at the dinner table, there's 2 things you never bring up: politics and religion. Why is that? Well, traditionally, the dinner table or the dining table was a place of togetherness. It was just a place to sit down, enjoy a meal, break bread, as we say in the Christian tradition, break bread with one another and just enjoy each other's company. Whether that's with friends or with family or, your nightly routine. When I was growing up, we would oftentimes, when my dad was home, sometimes he'd be working, but when he was there, we would sit down as a family and my mother would serve us dinner and we'd eat. And that was our place. That was where the family sat down and gathered. And the reason why it was told not to ever bring up religion or politics, not necessarily in my home, we could talk about anything amongst each other, but just in general, as a general form of etiquette, of being proper, is that religion and politics on their own, it's hard to say if they're divisive on their own, but where the divisiveness comes from is with religion and politics, you have an attached point of view. You have a person, an individual, a human being, whose point of view, whose perspective, whose upbringing, whose all kinds of other things are intertwined with their stance, their position. Even if they don't have a stance or position, that's still a position, right? So we're told not to talk about these things because of the divisiveness that can be associated with them. Right now, we are experiencing a lot of turmoil. We are experiencing a lot of division amongst each other, amongst fellow citizens, amongst fellow human beings in the United States over our politics, over our disagreement, our point of views, our perspectives on what's happening right now. In the midst of this, here's what I want to say, and this is the purpose of the series, and why I thought it was so important, is in the midst of it all, what I want all of us to do is I want all of us to focus on critically thinking. Critically thinking. And let me start with what I think is one of the most important basic but very important and arguably very difficult to do. Because how can we start to think critically? How can we ensure that we are focusing on becoming and actively being critical thinkers? One of those things is this, and this is going to be the foundation of this video. This is what we're going to be talking about in this video. It's about questioning our assumptions. One of the ways to encourage us, that I can encourage us, one of the ways that I can guarantee we can begin to be critical thinkers is once we start to question our assumptions. We all have assumptions. We're all human beings. So we assume. And not just question our assumptions, but we need to challenge our own beliefs. Not just once, but regularly. Now, let me share with you, as of recently, and as of my entire life, how difficult this is. And because I want you to understand that what I'm encouraging us to do is a difficult thing to do. I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm not going to shy away from the things that bother me, the things that upset me when I hear them. I do have a position. I too have a stance and a perspective and an opinion, right? But when we encounter beliefs or ideas that challenge our existing views, our response to those things tells a lot about us. And as of recently, my response to some of these things has said a lot about me. To the point where I thought I should make a video about this, because I'm not going to challenge anyone with something that I'm not going to challenge myself on. That would be unfair. Some of you are going to be better at this than I ever could be. And I'm happy about that. I mean, that's what I want from my children. I want them to grasp things and be better at them than I ever was. Doesn't mean I don't need to work on it, but I'm saying that's my hope. So what happens, right? When we encounter beliefs or ideas that challenge our existing views, instead of resisting, I'm talking to myself, instead of feeling threatened, talking to myself, we should lean into that discomfort. Now, not because we're gluttons for pain and punishment. That's not why. Oh, let's just be uncomfortable. No, there's got to be a purpose. Let me explain what the purpose is. There better be a reason behind why we're doing this. We're not just leaning into the discomfort. We're leaning into the discomfort, but we are at the same time, we are asking ourselves some very important questions. Here's one. What makes me uncomfortable? What makes us uncomfortable about this? I've done videos on the importance of questions, on the importance of the type of questions that we're asking other people that show them that we're interested in them and not just in end result, not just interested in what am I getting out of this for myself, but I'm interested in really understanding this person. So questions are extremely important in growth, in success, in getting better. What makes me uncomfortable about this, and what evidence supports this new perspective? See, now you've taken it to another level when you can, instead of just being angry, but you can actually take that other person, that opposing perspective, and you can say, okay, let me put myself in that person's shoes. Where's the evidence for this? That takes guts. And it's not easy. But we separate ourselves from just taking in the noise, from just taking in whatever agrees with our assumptions, with our perspectives, and leaving room for anything else, for change. Had I not, see, I have done this. I have practiced these things. And I have seen the results. I have also know that I have a long way to go because it's very challenging. And it's something that we have to do regularly. But I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in front of you. I wouldn't be talking the way that I talk if I'd not taken into account that perhaps my assumptions are not correct. By actively confronting our own discomfort, we open ourselves up to new insights and a more nuanced understanding of the world around us. What does that mean, and why is it important? It means that we see life is more complicated, right? Someone's position on politics, someone's position on religion, it's more complicated than just black or white. It's more complicated than just good or bad. And as we question our assumptions, as we lean into the discomfort of a different perspective, one that challenges our own, as we do that and we ask questions to ensure that we're seeing this as correctly as possible, we gain a more nuanced understanding of the world around us. We understand and we start to unravel, we start to break apart the assumption that things are this or that. Life is much more complicated than that. But one thing that I have found to be true, and I'm going to end on this note, when it comes to politics, when it comes to religion, when it comes to our vastly different perspectives, when we sit down and we look at each other and we connect with each other on a human level, it's almost mind-boggling how much more we have in common versus what we don't. And I hope out of anything, out of this entire series, whatever it is that I share, whatever you hear from myself and other people, that we'll remember that. We'll remember that. At the end of the day, we're just human beings on this earth, trying to live, trying to do our thing, trying to get better, trying to whatever it is we're trying to do. We're all here. And there's a lot more that we have in common versus what we don't. So let's question our assumptions. Let's challenge our own beliefs. It isn't easy. It isn't comfortable. But it is going to make us strong, critical thinkers. And the world needs that. Our world, our circle of influence, whoever that may be, they need it. So thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful. Have a great day.